Well, what's happening, people? It is probably about 1 o'clock, and today's September the 20th. It's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. Harley and I drove down this morning and got here about 11. We're going to do some cleanup work, or I'm going to do some cleanup work, and he's going to play, maybe help me a little bit. And I've got a buddy of mine, Nathan, that's coming down. Going to bring his son, I think tonight or this afternoon. And we're just doing cleanup. I've gotten in here in this low spot and used the machine to grade this area down to kind of get it level. I'd like to bring in some more gravel here once we get this berm pile out of the way. Bring in some bigger, almost like riprap. It's big, chunky gravel because this stays really wet. I think there's a spring under here somewhere. But we got this big berm pile always in the way. So we're gonna work on it a little bit this afternoon. And in the morning, let it burn a couple of days and see if we can get a lot of this to just go away. And we got a pretty good little fire going. It's hot, but it's a beautiful day. It's 78 degrees, cool breeze, beautiful clear blue sky, or cloudy blue sky, but still a beautiful sky. And yeah, man, we just had some time, so we thought we'd come down here and do this today. Stay tonight. We'll make a campfire and kind of sit around and just visit. This is what it's all about right here. Man, this is gonna be cool. So Harley came out a little while ago and he said, you know, we forgot to do a video. I thought, man, we forgot to do a video. So we're making a video. But September 20th, we're down here doing some cleanup. Updates are as follows. Let's see, what's new? Not much is new. I've got to do some work on the little camper. When we lost the wheel, it broke the gray water tank drain, and it goes back to the valve, the release valve. And between the tank and the valve, it broke the PVC pipe in there. I've got to replace that. I've got to hook up there's a 3-inch piece that goes on top of the septic tank that I've got to hook up and get that done. So I've got a couple little jobs to work on, and then we're gonna head back probably midday tomorrow. I'd like to get back home around 2 o'clock. We have life group tomorrow night, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. I think we're gonna try to make pizzas on the porch and do all that stuff, so that'll be fun. But that's the update, man. We're just up here burning stuff today. See. All right, that's the big praying mantis that dive bombed us. Harley wanted me to get a video of it.
There's a big one.
It's a monster. We're lucky to be alive.
Oh, there's your light. Sorry, dude.
We're lucky to be alive. Who's alive? Did everybody live through that?
Yep.
Everybody okay? Elias?
Mm-hmm.
Did you live? Are you alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the lights I see, that's the church you were saying?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, good morning. It is, let's see, I don't even know what today is. I'll put it on the screen when we figure it out. It is Wednesday, and I've driven down here to Bible Grove this morning and just checking some things out. Here we got the campers, and the drive was beautiful. It's about probably 8:15 in the morning. I got up early, head down. It's really super quiet down here. You can see the leaves are starting to change. There's some really pretty foliage coming through the park this morning. Some red, so we're excited about watching the leaves change back in here. I think I'm going to stay the night, just kind of get down here and work all day and rest. I've got some things to work on the ministry side for Thrive tonight that I can kind of stay here and write and work on. It's hard to do that stuff down here because there's no internet, and I like to have the Google to look things up when I'm when I'm writing that kind of stuff. So that's kind of fun, but I'll have to correct all the things that I do wrong when I get back to internet. But anyway, I'm here just kind of checking things out. I've got some plumbing to do. I've got a couple of things to fix on the little camper. When the wheel came off, we broke some plumbing pipe. I need to fix that. I've got to finalize the hookup to the septic tanks on the ground and fix that. And I've got a few little minor things. I brought some security lights. I found some really cool little marker lights at Home Depot on clearance for about $16, and they are going to be mounted potentially on some 2x4s. I've got a couple of old pressure treated 2x4s here. I think I'm going to cut those and mount those little security lights up the driveway and get those installed and see kind of if we can mark the driveway coming in without too much conspicuousy, but at the same time have that available to us to kind of light the way because it's dark up here at night. So we're doing that, and I'm going to see if I can get the old chain back on the ditch witch. I've got a guy that's coming in the next couple of days or weeks to come look at this thing. He's been bugging me on Facebook Marketplace for a long time about buying this machine. And I found a couple of other replacement machines that I think will probably serve me better. I don't really need a trencher that big. Now, when I start to trench between campsites, we're going to make a straight shot. We're going to go straight through the woods. And honestly, this machine's just too big to get between trees. So a walk behind, something that I can rent every time. You can rent those for $150 a day. And honestly, I mean, it'd take a whole lot of daily rentals to kind of make up for the money I could save, or I could sell that for. I'm going to try to get that this big digging chain back on. You can see I just wired it up with cable just to keep from dragging it around. So I've got to undo all of that and get to that. Boy, I dread that job because it is such a pain. But anyway, we'll work on that today too. But just got some things to get done. But more than anything else, I'm going to spend a day here in the woods and in my thoughts and prayers and have a good time. Well, I've worked a couple hours here on the machine. The big burn pile was here, and I've moved it, kind of rotated it over. It was actually still had coals underneath it from, I think we were here on Thursday night last week. So that's almost 7 days that the coals were still hot under here, still glowing ambers. That's amazing to me. We pushed that over. I pushed that over there. I pulled some more of the tree stumps out. I cleaned up all of this. This was all just a bunch of tree stumps that I had pushed over. And I've got that all cleaned up. And I cleaned up even back in here some. But before I get too far down the road, I'm going to go ahead and burn that big pile and let that thing kind of cook for a few days. Well, here we are underneath the little camper here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm finally tightening up the last of these little couplers. So when the rear tire blew or came off when I was moving it, it popped up underneath here, and it kind of crushed this little panel, and it went right inside all of this plumbing and broke it all. This is all the drain for the kitchen sink and for the shower and bathroom sink. So this is the gray water tank drain, and it comes out here to the relief valve. And so I'm just tightening up the last of these. I went to, I don't know if you can see back over there, there's one back there. I replaced all of this connection here and then this upper arm here and put that connector there. That's new. This elbow here is new. This is new. And that piece there is new. And I had to build it out here and then stick it all in there in one big piece and put it together with these rubber couplings, and that works really good. If you're working on an RV plumbing, rubber couplings is probably the right way to do it, because it's not a matter of if you're going to have to replace some of this stuff. RVs are really more like when you're going to have to replace some of this stuff. So that feels like a good connection in there. I don't think that's going to leak. I'm going to get up here and run some water in the shower and see if we are watertight. Let me get this drain pipe back up there. Let's see. Oh, I finished up the sewer stack here, so this is done. So this will get dirt poured back over it, and this is a toilet flange upside down inside, sticking up and through, siliconed all around, and then it's screwed from this side, so it's going to make a great connection there. And then this stack is just enough to bring it up so that when the earth is filled up, that you'll have this connection. And so that's the sewer, yeah, and it's in there, and it's kind of gross. So that's cool. The other thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to modify a Studer valve. Now, a Studer valve normally is something that you would use under the cabinet in a home if you needed to vent a sink to keep it from gurgling, or whatever. It's kind of you use it when you can't put a stack through the roof, a vent stack through the roof. A lot of times, like in apartments or in downstairs bathrooms, it's just not an option. So there's a Studer valve. It's called a Sure Vent. I'm going to modify these because these actually breathe in, but they don't breathe out. And I need this one to modify. I need it to be modified to breathe out. So it's just really going to be a cap that comes up that's going to allow this third tank in this series of 1, 2, 3 tanks here. This one is covered, but they're all connected in there. And so when this gets dumped into this big tank, that it will breathe, the air from this tank will go into this tank, and the air from this tank will be able to breathe into that tank. And it won't create like an airlock. And so this is the valve. So when you dump an RV here, you know, a lot of times with an RV, you'll have a dump of 40, 50 gallons at a time. And that's a lot for a septic system, especially a single bedroom septic system. And so in order for that to make the capacity for that, I needed to have this valve put on there. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to get that done. And man, we're getting a lot accomplished. It's getting late in the afternoon. It's probably about 3 o'clock. It's been a great day. Let me show you out here what I've gotten done. Okay, you can see how nicely graded this whole area is now. This has been kind of an eyesore ever since we started here. It's always been the place where I've had my burn pile and just kind of junk pile, and this is the last of it that's burning down now. And I was able to grade that out. So now we can either put a playground in, or we can put in grass, or we can bring in rock, or we can bring in whatever we want to do, but that's nicely graded. And I think now that it's graded right, it'll actually drain right. It's been holding water. There is an underground spring or something going on in here. The ground stays pretty wet most of the time. Right now it's dry. We've had very little rain the last few weeks, but that's really nicely graded, and that's going to give us a lot of area. You know, if we just came in and gravelled it, it'd be all right. But I think, you know, as I look at that, I think a nice little grassy area right there would be really cool. Maybe even a little picnic table or something like that would be cool. So I'm just kind of buttoning up. I look kind of wild, sorry. But yeah, man, good day in the woods. A lot of stuff getting done. I went down and I saw where the man who is doing the logging on the next property over, which was my grandparents' farm years ago, Bobby and Dewey Jones own it now. They've had a logging company come in and take anything that's really bigger than 18 inches that is a white oak or a tree that they can sawmill. And they have harvested quite a bit of their lumber or forest back there for lumber. And I went back in and I walked the property where they've brought in some access roads to get back in and do it. And man, they've made some cool Jeep trails. I got to tell you, I really am thinking about having them come and look at this, because we have 27 acres here, and we're probably using 3. So we've got, I don't even know that we're using 3 acres, maybe 2 acres right here, just in what I'm looking at right here. So we've got lots and lots and lots and lots of trees back here, and we have never even accessed it. Now I have got some trails straight back this way that just kind of meander through that piece of the property. That I don't have any trails in this whole piece. We've walked it. It's beautiful. It's just almost inaccessible. And I'm thinking, you know, if I let them come in and log it, that they would actually build the Jeep trails that, you know, it took me so long to do all this clearing. I think there's a double win there for us. So I'm really interested to talk to him, and maybe I'll get to talk to him this afternoon or tomorrow morning. I'm interested to find out how much money the Joneses got for the amount of wood that they take, that they've taken. I'll get some video of that before I leave, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like after they've forested, because, you know, they've made a little bit of a mess, but in a year you'll never know the difference. So once they're out of here, the leaves fall and it kind of gets that underbrush growing again. I just don't see that you'll see it. And, you know, it's going to be years before we even access that piece of the property. So if we went ahead and harvested it now, I think we may get enough money in lumber off of it to pay off the mortgage that we have on the property itself. Brittany and I carry that mortgage for our ministry. It's just part of our expenses, so it'd be great to have that off of us. So anyway, wow. Anyway, so we're just kind of doing all that, and that's about it. Well, all right. Well, it's about 9:15, and it's dark at Bible Grove, and we got a really good little bonfire going. Pretty cool. I've been pushing these big root balls in here all day, and I just got on the machine here and stoked it up one more time before I go to sleep tonight. And man, it's a beautiful night. I don't know if we can see, there's a full moon up there somewhere in the sky. Can't quite see it. Some clouds have moved in. Little camper, big camper. I'm here all by myself. It's been a really good night though. Well, good morning. It is about 7:30 in the morning. It is 7:30 in the morning. And it is September the 28th. Tomorrow is my 15th wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary, babe. I'm gonna head home this afternoon, but I got up early this morning, about 5:30. And when the sun came up, I got down here and finished doing some grading in this area and got the fire stoked back up again, still burning some root balls and just some of this scrap wood. And today I'm going to try to do some cleanup with the Jeep. I'm going to start winching some larger trees out that I need to move, and I'm not really sure the best way to do it, if it's to do it with the machine or to get the Jeep back there with I've got a 9,000 pound winch on the Jeep, and that may be the best way to do it. I don't know. So I'm going to try a couple of different ways of trying to pull these trees out, and it may be that there's no good way to do it. So I'm going to kind of work on that today, and then keep on cleaning as we go, and try to get the new blade on the sawmill. I want to run that a little bit today. I got several little things that I want to get done. Yesterday I got all the plumbing issues completed with the hookups and the repair to the camper. And let's see, what else did we get done yesterday? Well, just a lot of cleanup. And it's looking good. It's looking really good. I need to get some dirt in the surround for the water spigots before winter gets here. I need to kind of help to bury those just a little bit deeper. So I'm going to do that maybe in a little bit, and we'll just see what all we can get done. But it's a beautiful day, beautiful day. They're calling for a chance of thunder showers this afternoon, but I think it's going to pass north of here. You can hear the logging company off in the distance. They didn't work yesterday, but today they're back at work, and so I'll probably go down there and try to talk to them at some point. But that's a lot to do, and try to get out of here by 2 o'clock. So might make it. Oh, and I took the trash off again yesterday, but the convenience center, the first time I went, was closed, and they only open from 1 to 5. And the second time I went yesterday, they're not open at all on Wednesdays. So you gotta kind of get the rhythms of everything, you know, when you're just getting set up. So I got to take the trash off again today. So we'll try to get that done too before we get on the road. But that's about it. Well, that could not have been easier. So that was awesome. Let's see, we'll free spool it back around. Release the cable here. And then I think I'll just move the Jeep and pull it in a different direction. Maybe pull it up there by the fire. Get the chainsaw out and put it into chunks and burn it. Let's see if this works. I went back and grabbed a few more branches. All right, well, it's about 2 o'clock and it's Thursday, and I have gotten this area really cleaned up. Well, it looks great. Even against I took all of this debris out of here, all along through here, and got it all out of that area back there. So we'll start next time up there and get this whole thing cleaned out. But man, that looks so much better. It looks like a manicured park over here. So great day. Early this morning, I got up and got to work out here, and it was really nice and cool. And I heard the guys working on the property next to us, but I heard them way north of where I thought they should be. So I went over there just to make sure that they were in the right spot. And there is some discrepancy on his map versus the map that I'm going by on the Onyx app. And just the new guy that owns that 3 acres, he's not around. And I just wanted to make sure before they continued to cut that they got in touch with him. But after looking at their maps, I believe that they're right, that they're on Dewey and Bobby's property, the piece behind us back here. So anyway, we talked, and real nice guy, and we walked our property here to look at the possibility of going ahead and logging here too, and taking some of these money trees, and some of them, some of these big trees, we've got a lot of poplar, we've got a lot of white oak, red oak, we've got a lot of large pine, like that guy right there. And when they get that big, they're good money trees. And so we walked through, we got a pretty good plan. And man, I think I'm gonna have him come and work next week and get us to the sawmill and cash in on some of these trees. He's guessing between it's about $1,000 an acre, whatever we take out of here. So there's a couple acres up here that I don't want to touch, just want to leave it very undisturbed. But the stuff that I know we're not going to get on for several years, some of this property up here, in our wildest dreams, we won't have campsites up there in 5 years. Well, 5 years from now, you'd never know he was on it. So that's great. The other great thing is he's actually going to be able to cut access roads. So we'll have another entrance off of the main road here that we can put a gate on and have another entrance back in. And so those trails that I've worked so hard to cut, he can do it in a matter of days. So, and pay me to do it, which is crazy. So, hey, note to people out there that are landowners, if you ever get in a situation where you want to do something like this, look at logging it, because these guys can be very surgical in what they take out. They can go in with this machine that he has. It's like a 4-wheel drive grapple, and it's huge. I mean, I'd say it's a 20-ton machine. But they can do a lot. Like, I've talked about several times that this will eventually be a circular drive that will connect all the way back around to this one as it comes in. And, cutting that was going to cost, when I had the dozer guy out here, you're looking at, $5,000 to $10,000 of dozer work. And so when I talked to Wes this morning, he was like, yeah, we knocked that out. That's not a big deal. We'd come through here. He's like, we got to get back there anyway. So that's crazy. Just all good stuff. Anyway, so I think next week we'll start doing some selective forestry in here, and that will pay us a good chunk of money, which is amazing because it will almost halfway pay off the mortgage that we have on it. So that's great. And then we can, kind of dream and not have to worry so much about the monthly payment. Automatically, we incurred, when we bought this and started, we incurred about a $480 a month land note. And then the minimum water bill is $36 a month from Lexington Water, because we have a 1-inch water tap. That's a whole other long story. Didn't realize it was going to be a minimum $36 a month, but it is. We have an electric bill because of the power. We have insurance that we have to carry on it, which is a little over $900 a year. So that's, so when you add all that up, it costs us probably $700 a month to own the property. And for a 501c3, a nonprofit, it's not just a nonprofit. It's the thing you give all your money to. So it's it's a labor of love. I love it. I can see so much potential in what we're doing here already with the men that I have brought up here and counseled and prayed with. This has been an awesome thing. And God just keeps working and doing some great stuff. I got some news this week that maybe I can share in a couple of weeks that will blow your mind. Great things happening, and I'm excited. But I'm about to wrap up here. I'm going to pack up the car and lock everything down and make sure everything's turned off. And we're going to get out of here this weekend. But I had a good, just a trip down by myself, and spent 2 days here and spent an overnight. It's great. I'm ready to go back and see my kids. But I'm already ready to come back and do some more. Well, good morning. It is about 8:30, and it is September the 30th, and I just got down here to Bible Grove, just checking on things. Look at that. All of that brush, all of that fire. Big bonfire there, and all of it reduced down to just a few little clumps. That's amazing. That's awesome. We'll do some more cleanup today, and maybe get another fire going here and burn up some more big root balls. They've been out of the ground long enough now that they're good and dry and they'll burn up. So I just pulled in, and man, it's a beautiful morning. Sun is up. It's cool today. I'm going to get some more cleanup done. I don't really have much of a plan. I've got to get some tools. I've got all of my tools down here, and I've got to take a few things back to Franklin because I've got to take down my COVID project 1, which was building the kids a tree house. And I guess that's been 4 years ago. So that's got to come down. They don't play in it, and the tree that it's in is beginning to split, and it's torn up the roof a little bit. So it was probably a bad idea, but it kept me busy. So that was good. Anyway, so I got to get some tools together to get that done. I brought all the sheets and the bedding down that's new and cleaned, and I'm going to change those things out. We got some friends coming down on Wednesday. So we'll be back down here again this week, and I need to get things ready for that. I got a good buddy of mine coming down, so that'll be cool, and his son. And man, it's just cool. Just a great day to be down here. I'm going to put the new blade on the sawmill and run it just a little bit, maybe today. Maybe. I kind of have a deal with Brittany that I won't do any sawmilling without somebody down here with me because, you just never know about stuff like that, and I'm not really experienced at it. I want to kind of get a plan for the forestry guys. The timber guys are here, or they're going to be here Wednesday too. So they think they can start cutting on our property while we're down here Wednesday and Thursday, and let me kind of oversee a little bit of their route that they want to take back through here. Just a lot going on, so it's exciting. Anyway, so I just thought I'd do a little quick video just to update what's going on here and see what we can get into today. Looking forward to it. I think Mr. Blackman may come by in a little bit too. I hope he will. I'd like to see him again. Okay, so my plan for today, these are my fence posts. This is that cedar that I have harvested. When I cut down the cedar trees, I've been trying to keep them all in about 8-foot sections, and I'm going to make cedar fence posts out of those. I've got several piles of these. I'm going to move those back just a little bit. And right here is a pretty good area where I'm pretty clear above. I don't want to drag any more stuff down there and do another burn pile, but I think I'm going to do a burn pile here. So I'm going to pull all this debris. You can see I cleaned all that. So I'm going to pull all this debris out here and all of this out today, and these root balls. See these where I've just pulled out trees and just pushed them over. These things are all in here, and I need to just come in here and grab this stuff and pull it out. Maybe try to get all that dead out of here too. These are the big logs from the big post oak tree. These are the limbs that came out of it, and that will go in a pile to be maybe log split, cut into sections, chainsawed into sections and log split, because I make incredibly good firewood because it's dried and it's old oak. So I got another big one over there. Maybe I cut that up today. I don't know what I'll get into, but we'll see. Some more stuff here. If I could get some of this all cleaned up today and sawed up today, I can maybe get my trailer up here and load sections of this. That sounds like a good plan. There's more stuff even up here. I doubt I'll get into any of this today, but some more stuff back up here. Brush pile, that stuff. If I could just start the fire going now, I can probably get a whole lot of this stuff to start burning. And so a couple of hours and I've done a lot of cleanup. I've got this massive burn pile going here. Maybe a little too big, but I'm gonna let it burn down just a little bit. I've cleared all this back so it won't catch here, but I'm gonna come back in here and pull this back before it moves in there too close. Got a lot of cleanup. Man, I tell you what, that old machine right there, it's ugly and it's slow, but you can literally come into these areas and just grapple with that thing and pick it up almost like you're doing it with your hands. And I'm getting kind of a technique down where I can kind of back it out real slow and just kind of rake this stuff as I come out. So this is really cleaning up nice. I've got most of this around the tree done, a little bit more. I've saved all the big limbs for firewood over there. So we're doing some good stuff, man. I'll check back with you in a little bit and we'll see how this fire's going. All right, well, I stopped for lunch, had a quick bite. Man, it's so nice to have the campers here. It's nice to have the Jeep here. It's nice to have some tools here. I'm going to try I bought new blades for the sawmill. Now that's a serious blade right there. I'm gonna replace the small one that's on here that I believe is too small for the mill. It works, but the thinner the blade, the more it's likely to wobble around and and be inconsistent with the cut. So what I want to do is get this blade on and test it and let it run and see if it's going to stay on or walk off or adjust it, get it adjusted out good. And then next time we come down, I've got a buddy coming Wednesday. We'll be ready then maybe to put a log on here and try to get some sawing done. Okay, well, it's late on Saturday. It's a little after 3:30. I've rested a little, I've cleaned a little, I've worked a little, I've fixed the machine. I got the chain back on, the digging chain back on. That's kind of a bear. I'm not sure they recommend that to be a one-man job. You have to wrestle with it quite a bit. You have to tie it off to a tree with a cable and a come-along, because I would guess that this chain probably weighs, I don't know, 300 or 400 pounds, 7 feet. 6 feet times 2, 12 feet, probably maybe 13 feet total chain. That boom is crazy, big spring in there. It's a big issue to get that thing off. I don't know how I got it, honestly, by myself. But anyway, got that back on, did a little bit more maintenance stuff to the machine. I tried like anything to get the new sawmill blade on and wrestled it, and it won several times there. It is 1 inch too short, and I ordered 2. I'm glad I didn't order more than that. So I'm gonna see if I can send them back, get some new ones. If not, they're about 25 bucks a piece, and that's what Dave Ramsey calls stupid tax. So I'll show you this. So last time we were here, we cleaned up all of this, and today we started cleaning around here, and we cleaned all this. And we cleaned all of this. Got all the big brush out. Most of the big root balls and things. Some of that stuff we could just do by hand now. All of the crazy big stuff around the big old tree, all that's gone. It is all this material here. And we're going to cut that up into firewood. Let's see, what else? That's about it. That's about all I got done today. But it's a good day working in the woods, so it's great. The fire is still going pretty hot and good. Mr. Blackman came by a little while ago. I'm gonna ask him to come back down here and check this fire for me tonight. I'm sure it will be fine. There is, I've cleared a lot of area around it where there's nothing that's flammable around it, so it should be good to go. I can't imagine it getting out of shape. Still, you know, I don't like leaving a fire burning, but I'm going to be around for another probably 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. I'm going to go down and see if Howard's around. I'm going to look and see what the guys have done on the cutting. I'm going to see if I can get in on their trails a little bit and look at that. But that's about it from Bible Grove on September 30th.